Finally, Declan Rice has signed for Arsenal Football Club. Arsenal have finally announced the signing of Declan Rice. Mikel Arteta has given him a chance to speak to the team. We'll be watching that little clip, of course, of him confirming that he would be ready to play for Arsenal right from the start. We're going to be diving into the interviews. Mikel Arteta, Declan Rice, Edu, and all the officials speaking about this move. Arsenal on their website and Twitter handle have confirmed that he is the record British signing. He is the most expensive player Arsenal have ever signed. He's the most expensive English player an English Premier League side have ever signed. Interesting, very interesting stuff. Declan Rice joins Arsenal from West Ham in a £105 million deal. How are you feeling, Arsenal fans? Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. What are your thoughts on this deal eventually getting done? But I think the style in which it was, it has been, announced, it has also been quite very, very fascinating. I think it's better than what we've seen from Arsenal before. Right, so on the Arsenal website, officially, they have said England international Declan Rice has joined us from West Ham on a long-term contract. The 24-year-old midfielder already has vast experience, making 245 senior appearances for the Hammers, as well as winning 43 caps of the Three Lions. Declan Rice started his youth career at Chelsea before joining West Ham's academy in 2014 and signed his first professional contract a year later. On the final day of the 2016-17 campaign, an 18-year-old Declan Rice made his senior debut and soon became an integral part of the first team squad for the following 6 years and seasons at West Ham. They're also saying that he was named club captain in May 2022. We definitely know that. And went on to lead the Hammers to the Europa Conference League title in June this year and was named the tournament's player of the season by UEFA. A regular with the England national team, he featured both the Euro 2020 and the 2022 FIFA World Cup that was held in this year. We will of course watch the interview for Declan Rice later on, but that is him there signing his deal. Alongside him to the left is of course Mikel Arteta, and to the right is sporting director Edu Gaspar. Edu Gaspar on the signing of Declan Rice, he says Declan is a player with fantastic ability and a proven record at both club and international levels. The process of his transfer has been a big effort with a clear plan, and we are so happy that Declan is joining us finally. Declan is a high-quality young international player who will add great strength to our squad, fitting so well into our strategy of competing with young talented players at the center of the club. It is great that Declan will be joining up with Mikel Arteta, our coaches, and his new teammates in good time ahead of our new season. Of course, I'm going to talk about him joining before those really important games of the preseason campaign. We'll be talking about that later on. Manager Mikel Arteta has said that we are really happy to have Declan joining us. He is a player with tremendous ability who has been performing at a high level in the Premier League and for England for a number of seasons now. Declan is bringing undoubted quality to the club, and he is an exceptional talent who has the potential to be very, very successful here. Declan has great experience in the Premier League at only 24 years old. He says he has captained a very good West Ham side, and as well he recently lifted a European trophy. The responsibility and role he has taken on has been very impressive, and we were really, really excited that he is actually joining us. That is Mikel Arteta on the signing of Declan Rice. Declan Rice will wear shirt number 41 at Arsenal, and everyone at Arsenal welcomes Declan to the club. The transfer is subject to the completion of regulatory processes, but of course you can find more about Declan Rice on the Arsenal website, and more about the deal on the Arsenal website as well. Now, this is Mikel Arteta introducing Declan Rice and Jurrien Timber to the Arsenal squad.
Before we start the review, what happened in Germany, I would like to obviously welcome our additions to the club, our family. Declan, welcome to the family. Is there anything you would like to say?
Yeah, I'll say a few words. Obviously, first day, I'm really looking forward to playing with you all, to sharing many good moments together. Obviously, see what you guys have been doing the last couple of seasons, so I'm really looking forward to getting started and hopefully enjoying a few trophies together.
Vamos!
Right, that's Declan Rice there on his first speech to the Arsenal squad. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be an interesting ride. It will be an interesting ride because it says there that probably we will enjoy some trophies together, and that's the reason as to why. That's the primary reason as to why you sign a player like Declan Rice, to enjoy some trophies. But look, I think Edwin Mikel Arteta have actually put it right. A very talented, exceptional talent, one with a lot of experience. At only 24, he's played 6 seasons in the top flight for West Ham, and of 3 of those 6 seasons, he has actually been their captain and player of the year. Can you believe that he's won, player of the year on 3 occasions after, of the 6 seasons he's actually played there? So he's such an important player for West Ham, and I think he will become eventually an important signing and player eventually for Arsenal. Now, first and foremost, I'm really excited, by the way. I'm really, really excited. I did have my moment of emotion before coming to the cameras to sign, to do this story. I did have my, moment of emotions, clapping and, celebrating a little bit. But it's a big signing. It's a big signing. Before he starts to play, before the season starts, I don't think any other club is going to have a bigger signing than us, apart from Kylian Mbappe. If a club in the Premier League signs Kylian Mbappe, that actually overtakes Declan Rice. But if you don't sign Kylian Mbappe, and if you don't sign, I think it's apart from Kylian Mbappe, you don't have another big name potentially on the market that a club can sign. Maybe Harry Kane. I mean, you could talk about Harry Kane probably if he was to go to a Premier League side, maybe Man United, maybe Chelsea. But apart from Harry Kane and Kylian Mbappe, I don't think we're gonna have another bigger signing than Declan Rice. And the fact that he joins Arsenal as a record signing, not only for the club but also in terms of an English British player for a British club, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. And I think it's a big upgrade. I've already talked about that position where Granit Xhaka has always played in that box-to-box role. It's a big upgrade to our midfield. Whether Partey is gonna leave, because as far as I understand now, according to Fabrizio Romano, Partey is more likely to agree to a move to Saudi Arabia as things stand. So to replace Partey and Xhaka with Declan Rice, I think that is a super move. That is a real move. Because these are 2 players that have been in our midfield for the last 3 years. And they've actually, you cannot take anything away from Partey and Xhaka, and their combination. They have actually turned our midfield into something else, right? Last season, I think we had one of the best midfields in terms of ball retention and chance creation, of course, with Martin Odegaard in that team. But for us to take that huge step, for us to go as ruthless as Xhaka out and then Partey out, and then to be to be even more ruthless, to replace them with one of the most talented midfielders in the Premier League, in the world, in that position, it is actually it is actually a statement. It's a statement of intent. Now, I've been looking at some of the publications, and I've been looking at a couple of analysts, and what this deal does, and probably one of the points I've loved about him signing for Arsenal, is he will give us what Partey gives us, what Xhaka has been giving us combined. So literally that means that we are replacing 2 players with 1, and we can now have another extra player in that midfield. Right, you look at Xhaka, his contribution going forward is not that big. You look at Partey, his contribution defensively is solid. So if you have a player in Declan Rice who can give you the solid defensive output, but then he can also perform much better in terms of dribbling and ball progression than Granit Xhaka. Then you have replaced 2 players with 1 player. And that will allow us, and of course, that did allow us to bring in a player like, Kai Havertz, who is a different profile to Xhaka, a different profile to Partey, and a very different profile to Declan Rice. Where he will play, how we're going to use him, that's going to be a very big question, but there's so many advantages to Rice, apart from his ability to have a bigger engine, because he does have a big engine. And I think he will make Arsenal stand out against many oppositions in the Premier League. For example, I look at Manchester City, and I look at Rodri, right? And I look at Declan Rice. I think Rodri is such a technically gifted player. He's such a wonderful talent. But in terms of the engine, I think Declan Rice has a bigger engine. So he might be able to see us through the 90 minutes at the Etihad, or when Manchester City visit us at the Emirates Stadium, something we've not been able to do. I think he has a bigger engine than Fabinho. I think they will go head-to-head, toe-to-toe with Casemiro at Man United. I think he's got a bigger engine than Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes. I think neither of them has a bigger engine than him. And look, I think with him we can dominate any midfield. Unless Liverpool go out there and sign a huge midfielder that we've not actually heard of, I think we will dominate them as well, right? And I think for me, with Declan Rice, he will give us that ability to go on, to go out in very difficult situations, on very difficult grounds, the Anfield, the Old Trafford, the Etihad, those very difficult grounds. We will push on. He gives us the ability to press any other team, and it gives us the ability to withstand any attack from any other team. That is the kind of signing that Arsenal have done. That is the kind of signing that we actually have made. Durable as a player, he's one of those guys that in 6 seasons, he's actually not missed more than 10 games in 6 seasons. And that is something that Arsenal really need at the moment. Of course, you've got to understand that Partey has been such an integral part of this team, but Thomas Partey never stays fit for 38 games in a campaign. Xhaka stays fit for 38, so the durability in Xhaka is replaced, so we retain that. But then also we get an extra, battery. We get an extra, piece of durability where Partey has not been able to do that. And I think it will be very, very crucial, because there are around 5-6 players that I think will play every single game next campaign. Rice will play every single game next campaign. Saliba will play every single game next campaign, unless he picks up an injury. Ramsdale will play every single game last campaign. I'd expect Odegaard to appear in each and every single game last campaign. And obviously, Bukayo Saka. So those are the 5 players that I think will play in each and every game. And you look at every team that has actually, had some success over the years, they have that consistent group of players that, unless they're injured, unless it is in the 70th minute or 80th minute, you don't actually miss them. They don't miss in the starting lineup. Thibaut Courtois, Atletico Madrid, Karim Benzema, still Madrid, Cruz and Modric, and I think Casemiro when he was still there as well. So those are players you are sure they will not miss in your starting lineup. At Manchester City, I think Ederson in goal. He's always in that starting 11 all the time. Now, Pep has really rotated his defenders a lot. To an extent, Emmanuel Akanji is the only player that has actually had 20 and 21 starts and above. The rest of the players have not started more games than Manuel Akanji. But you come in midfield, Rodri has been a key part of that team. Gundogan has been a key part of that team. De Bruyne, of course, has been a key part of that team as well. So I think Rice comes in to be part of the leadership, to be part of the key members of the team, players that start every single time. Does he win us the league next campaign? If we can keep up the levels that we performed at, and our only challenges come in Goodson Park away, Anfield away, West Ham away, Brentford at home, I think he will win us the league. I think he has the ability to overturn some of the results that went wrong last campaign, like Southampton, home and away, with Declan Rice in that midfield. Yeah, we don't get bullied by Romeo Lavia, so we would win those games home and away. I think he might not change the game at Goodson so much because I think Sean Dyche really set up very, very well, but he would change the game at Brentford at home. I think we would win that game. We just needed some kind of confident man, confident player in that midfield to tell the boys, hey guys, we are at home and we cannot let this win slip away. As simple as that, and we would win that game, right? I think it's gonna be that kind of father figure, that kind of huge figure in midfield, the likes of Cantona, the likes of Thierry, the likes of Patrick Vieira. He's going to be a force in more than just on the pitch. And I can say with leadership, we have just hit the jackpot. Like, this Arsenal side is not short of leaders. But do we have real leaders? I think we've just gotten ourselves one. We just, signed a real leader in the side. Like, Zinchenko is a leader. Odegaard is a leader. But they're players that, just, you look at them, you will believe in them, and I think the team already believes in him. I've seen, I've seen the way players actually look at him. I've seen the way Arsenal players look at him. It just looks like he's a player who's already been here. It just looks like he's a player who's just look at Leandro Trossard there, and look at Gabriel there, right? It's of course I think they do have a good relationship with Aaron Ramsdale, but Trossard is excited. I don't know why he's excited, but I think he's a player that will change a lot at Arsenal. So he signs, record signing. Let's hope this one works out, because the last one didn't actually work out. It didn't work out.